Hey there. Welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. My name is Chef D Malfi, and I'm glad to be back. I am going to be doing a really kind of fun new show today with our second guest here at Plant-Based Made Easy, and I'm really excited. For those of you who are new to this community, Plant-Based Made Easy is a cooking show where each time I come on, I offer to you an easy, a healthy, and delicious recipe straight out of my monthly Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook. And this month, we're working out of the December cookbook. That's this right here. And it's a downloadable cookbook, so it's actually really cool that you can take it and put it on any of your devices. And it's awesome because it is a month of recipes for you. And these are not just breakfasts or lunches. It's everything: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, sweets, and even staple recipes. And it includes journal writing exercises, like journal writing reflection pages, where you can actually spend your week cooking this food and then take note. How do you feel? And there's also amazing grocery lists. So we're working in week 3 of the December cookbook. And today I have a special new friend on the line with me because we're going to be making something really delicious. Today is our snack day, after all. So we're making sweet matcha popcorn, which is super festive. It's super green. It's very fun. And I love matcha for a lot of reasons. So today I have on the line, waiting patiently, my new friend, Pat Tokuyama, and he is going to actually cook with me. So here we go. Let's welcome Pat. Pat, I'm bringing you on. Hi, Pat.
Konnichiwa. Hello,
Konnichiwa. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
I like your hat.
Thank you.
You're in the spirit. Thank you. Yeah, today we're keeping it very simple. I wanted to bring you on, Pat, today because you are a Japanese plant-based cooking expert. You have really, really great content online. And so I'm going to sing your praises here right now, if you don't mind. I'm going to tell the people what it is that you're all about, you guys. I want you to know about what he does. Pat actually has an amazing Japanese cooking club. You can find all of his content on Instagram at Japanese Cooking Club. And he also has a wonderful YouTube page that's called All Day I Eat Like a Shark, and I love it. So I want you guys to check that out after our show, of course. But right now, me and Pat are going to cook, and let's get started. Pat, how are you feeling? You ready to cook?
I'm feeling great. Yes, I am.
Yeah, awesome. All right, I want to say hello to the people that are joining us. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Karen. Hi, Marie. If you guys have questions along the way about anything plant-based eating or living related, or about this recipe, you let us know, all right? And me and Pat will answer your questions as we go. All right, so let's make some sweet matcha popcorn. This one's really super, super simple. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. And I'm gonna do what we always do on our Thursday. It's a snack recipe day. So we're gonna keep this short and sweet. And we're gonna actually, me and Pat are gonna give you our 2 cents about some of the ingredients that we're using, all right? So Pat, let's make some popcorn. This is the first time I hear you're making popcorn from scratch. Is that right?
It is.
Wow, do you usually do it in the microwave?
I usually use the bagged popcorn that you just do in the microwave. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, here's a cool thing I just discovered. Did you know that you can take popcorn kernels raw or from a bag, like actually open up a microwavable popcorn bag, and you can like pour the popcorn kernels right into a lunch brown paper bag and put it in the microwave, and it will pop just like regular microwave popcorn. I did not know that, but I just recently discovered it. So there's 2 ways to pop this popcorn. You can either do it like that in the microwave, or you can do it on the stovetop. So I'm going to bring in my overhead, and you guys can follow along with what I'm doing. So I'm going to actually replace my bowl with my cooktop right here, right in the middle. I don't normally do this. Hi, Charisse. Hello. All right. So I have my cooktop here, and I love using an electric burner because it's super duper fast. Pat, what do you use, gas or electric?
I usually use my stove, but I do have an electric for the table whenever we have hot pot, for example, Japanese style hot pot.
Oh yeah, cool. But your stove right now is gas, I'm getting?
Today we're gonna be using gas.
Okay, cool. So Pat, I want you to do this, follow me and do it with me. You want to use like a really big pot, you guys, something that has like a wide surface area, and something that has, yeah, that's perfect, like a Dutch oven. That looks like that's what you're using. Something that's like really kind of thick. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually add our fat. Now, I'm going to use coconut oil, but you can use kind of any fat that you want. Olive oil, avocado oil, You could even use butter. Pat, what are you going to use?
I'm going to use this Miyoko's Creamery plant-based butter. Is there something?
Yeah, we love that. Yes, absolutely. We always use Miyoko's here at Plant-Based Made Easy. I love it because it's the official vegan butter. So that's great. So you can go ahead and add about 1.5 tablespoons of your butter, and I'm going to use coconut oil. And for my friends here, I just want to tell you and remind you that there's 2 types of coconut oil on market. There's this here. This is regular organic virgin coconut oil. And I'm showing you the Trader Joe's jar. This is the white label. And this is cold pressed and unrefined, meaning it's going to taste a little like coconut, and it's going to have a coconut smell as well. So the aroma and the flavor are still there. So you can use this, and I'm going to use this today. But the other kind is, I'm going to just put this in and then I'll tell you the other kind is refined coconut oil. And refined coconut oil has all of the aroma and the flavor removed. And I really like having both on hand because I never know when I'm going to need to use it. So here's the refined coconut oil. This is the green label, and it usually should say triple refined or triple filtered. And it will usually even also say almost no aroma, almost no flavor. So of course they can't take all of that coconut essence out, but they can do their best. So if you really don't want any of the smell or the flavor, get yourself the refined. And this is great because you can use this as a 1-to-1 replacement for any recipes that call for butter. All right. So less calories and a little bit cleaner for our body using coconut oil. But I'm jealous because I know butter is like way more tasty. So yours is going to be a little bit more flavorful than mine. All right, so just let that melt. And here's a trick for popping popcorn. It's really important that we want to take our popcorn kernels and we want to put 3 kernels right into the pot, just 3 baby kernels. All right, and we're doing this because we want to ensure that the oil is hot before we add the rest of the kernels. So you can see these 3 kernels here, you guys. I'm putting to it here. Let me see if I can get them in the middle. There we go. And I want to make sure that these kernels pop before I add the rest. This is really important that they pop before I add the rest. And I'm going to cover it to just enable that to happen really quickly. And this is really important. If you try to add your popcorn kernels all at once, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to overcook the kernels, and the outside hull gets like really, it's almost like overly chewy. Do you know what I'm talking about, Pat? It's like, yeah.
Probably not a good texture.
Not good eats. Not good eats. We don't want that. Okay, I heard mine pop. I want to hear the other one pop. Okay, it's half popped. Keep it going. Keep it going. How's yours doing? Have we popped yet on your end?
Not yet. Should I have the heat on high or medium?
You want to have it on a medium high. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah. All right, so my kernels have popped now. Pat, you're probably right behind me. So I'm now going to very quickly open this up. You can see they've popped, and I'm going to add the rest. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of the kernels. And I'm just, before I add the top back on, I really want to make sure that these are nice and coated in the oil. Okay, so just give this a little mix. I think Pat's listening for that kernel to pop.
Not yet.
Not yet. Uh-oh. Okay, that's all right. Pat's using cool mushroom popcorn. Can you show us your bag of popcorn, Pat?
Sure.
Okay, look, guys. His is organic mushroom popcorn. I love it. I think that's just the type of popcorn. And his has the USDA organic label. Do you see that? Now I want to show you mine. I'm using Bob's Red Mill yellow popcorn. And the difference here is mine is not organic, but mine is non-GMO project verified. And I'm going to bring this up to the screen so you can see. And I always tell you it's really important to enjoy organic corn because it has this stamp of approval, that non-GMO project verified. So we want to just show you that. And there's lots of different types and companies that make awesome popcorn that are really clean eating. So both of these brands will work. And my popcorn is working. I'm hearing it pop really quickly. How you doing over there, Pat?
Not yet, but the butter
Not yet. Okay.
Brown, which is
okay.
Really nice.
Yummy. It's going to be even more flavorful. All right, I want to say hello, Cheryl. Yeah, Cheryl says, I'm just going to add this to our stream. Hello, Chef. I've had popcorn just about every night, finding these popcorn recipes fun. Cheryl, I love you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I added popcorn over the last few months, and I replaced it with another snack recipe that we had in our cookbooks. And I usually rotate the types of recipes. So you're always going to see pasta recipes. You're always going to see tacos. And now I have a popcorn offering every month. And it's super fun. I love popcorn too. It's one of my favorite snacks. Cheryl, I'd love to know, what are some of the flavors beyond these recipes? Are you experimenting? Please let me know in the chat. And hello, Sisette. All right, so mine is really popping kind of very quickly. I'm definitely going to beat you to this. That's okay. It's definitely not a race, but I'm telling you, it's the induction. It's the electric unit right here. It's super fast. Well, while we wait, Pat, can I ask you about a little bit about your work and what you're up to these days?
I heard one of them pop.
Oh, good. Okay. How about you? As long as it's popped, why don't you throw in the rest now? A quarter cup of the rest of the kernels. And I just want to say that you want to mix it up, Pat, and like make sure it's really coated in that brown butter.
Okay.
And then cover it immediately. And because I'm like 2 minutes ahead of you, I want to say that this is going to wrap up here in just a few seconds. And how do I know that popcorn is done popping? Well, you want it to actually listen the whole time. You don't want to walk away from popcorn. And you're listening for the final pop. The last few pops, you know it's done when there's a long kind of delay between the last few kernels that are popping. So it should sound really consistent. Yeah, Pat. Yeah, you can hear it's like it's slow, 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 and then it gets super fast. And now I did mine. You guys hear it silent, right? Okay, that's it. I'm going to turn it off. I heard the last kernel pop a couple seconds ago, and I don't want to burn it. I want to make sure that everything is just going to sit in this like kind of steam pot right now. And you may hear a couple more kernels pop even after you cut the heat. So yeah, I'm hearing a couple more, or maybe that's yours. All right, I'm gonna switch gears. Take a peek. Oh my gosh, this looks great. I'm just gonna let it sit for a second. I don't want to disturb it because in this last couple of seconds, the popcorn kernels from the residual heat that are still unpopped will finish popping. So keep going. You can keep the heat off, but the top on, and it will kind of finish out itself. All right. You're getting a lot of love. Marie Montoya says, "I love your hat, Pat. You're bringing the seasonal festive vibe." Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheryl Baker says, "While my popcorn is popping, I stand in front of the spice rack, and whatever I feel like at the moment, I found I really like the curry." That's awesome. Good way to do it. Yeah, sometimes I do that too. Just kind of stand in front of your spices. What's it going to be today? All right. Well, while your popcorn is popping, Pat, I want you to tell me more about your brand as an influencer online. Will you let the people know what is it that you're doing right now and working on?
Yes, I mean, at a very high level, what I do today is promote, I'm an advocate for plant-based food, specifically Japanese food. And that's pretty much what you'll find on my channel, my YouTube channel, All Day I Eat Like a Shark, as well as my most recent cookbook, which I published earlier this year. So
cool. And your cookbook is it's a companion cookbook, or it goes side by side with a Japanese cooking club. Is that right?
Yeah, so you can actually you can get a taste if you visit thejapanesecookingclub.com. There's a few recipes that are available for you to download and try out if you are completely new to either plant-based cooking or even just Japanese food. You'll get a little bit of an idea of what that would entail. And the cookbook is actually a collection of some of the recipes that are in the Japanese Cooking Club membership. So if you become a member, then you'll get access to those exact same recipes, or if you prefer the cookbook, you'll have them as well. So either way, it's a perfect way for somebody who's new to either plant-based cooking or Japanese cooking to get experience firsthand what Japanese food tastes like and also what plant-based food tastes like.
I love it. You found me on Plant-Based Made Easy, and Pat wrote me and was like, "Hi, I like what you're doing." And we later, like recently, discovered that we live in the same county. So we're neighbors and new friends. And I'm loving your YouTube channel, All Day Like a Shark. I think that I love your vibe, and I love how you are really authentic in sharing the knowledge that you have about Japanese cooking. It's cool. It's really fun to be with you and see all these recipes that you prepare. I watched the recipe where you made recently, where you made the dessert, which were little tiny squares, like jelly squares, and it looked so delicious. I'm so unfamiliar with Japanese food, so it made me feel really inspired to get more into the cooking that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for that. Those little jelly squares are actually made of algae or seaweed.
Oh, wow.
It has a similar texture to gelatin, which is an animal product, right?
Yeah.
But one of the benefits is that it has basically no calories. So if you're concerned about calories, that's one of the benefits. And also, unlike gelatin, which can melt at room temperature, so say you make some jello for a potluck or a Christmas party, one of the things that you have to do with gelatin is keep it cold. Otherwise, it's
Oh,
going
okay,
to
yeah.
melt.
Or
But
else it
with
will totally melt.
yeah, but this product, content is what it's called in Japanese, or agar is the English term,
I've heard
um,
that.
will actually keep its shape and not melt at room temperature.
And it happens to be totally plant-based. Amazing. Win, win, win all around.
Yeah.
You guys check out his YouTube channel for sure. All Day I Eat Like a Shark, and his IG, which is the Japanese Cooking Club. No, the Japanese Cooking Club. It's awesome. Pat, how's your popcorn working?
I think most of it's done. So here's how it
Awesome.
looks.
Oh yeah, that looks great. Perfect. All right, so we'll leave it there. And I want to know. I want to hear from you also. When did you go plant-based, Pat? What was your journey like? Will you tell us about that?
Sure. So in 2016, that's when everything started, at least in my plant-based journey. I basically got injured at the beach one day. I was surfing and I sprained my ankle. I was unable to walk for several months, and that was when I did some reading about plant-based foods. So specifically, the China study by T. Colin Campbell, if you've heard of him, as well as
Yes.
his book Whole. Two books really changed my life and changed my perspectives on food and got me to change and incorporate more of them into my diet. So previously, I would eat the standard American diet, if you guys have heard of that, which is mostly protein, animal protein, and carbs, very little vegetables. That's kind of what I grew up on. But ever since that, I guess that day happened and my knowledge expanded and I learned about plant-based food and the benefits, I have really moved away from that and eat mostly plant-based foods every day. So I like to share that Japanese aspect because that's my heritage. So I'm a Japanese American, and I know a lot of people may think that Japanese food calls for a lot of fish and a lot of meat, being an island country for one thing, and also there's a lot of Japanese style American or westernized foods that are very popular. But that's not necessarily the case. So with Japanese food, there's a lot of vegetarian cuisine that you can actually enjoy without eating any animal or fish products. And that's what I strive to advocate on a day-to-day basis with my cooking videos on my YouTube channel and my cookbooks.
You're so cool. That's so awesome and so inspiring that it started for you because of an injury. And then because of that moment, you were able to, you became inspired yourself and read and learned as much as you could. And now you have this community, your own plant-based community all about Japanese cuisine. It's so cool. I love what you're doing. And I am super excited about being connected to new friends that are all in this plant-based world. So yay for eating plants.
Yay.
Woohoo! All right, so let's move on to making the delicious matcha syrup. That's what's going to make this popcorn the sweet matcha style. And matcha is a really cool ingredient, and I'm getting more familiar with matcha. So let's talk about it for a second. I want to show you mine. I'm going to use Thrive Market matcha. Because I have a partnership with Thrive Market. And it's really a Japanese green tea that's been ground up. And these young green tea leaves are harvested. And they're really super young green tea leaves because that's the tea leaf that has the most antioxidants. And when it's ground up, it actually creates this really, I'm not going to open up the package, I'll show you right here, really beautiful, like very fine green powder. Look at that. And I really like matcha because for me, it gives me a good boost of energy because it does contain caffeine, but it doesn't give me that like coffee jitters. Do you know that? Like, intense coffee jitter thing that you get from black coffee, Arabica coffee. And so I like matcha because it seems more mild. It does contain caffeine, but it's very mild. And I like the flavor too. The smell and the flavor, it's very earthy. So I'm kind of getting more and more into matcha. Pat, what matcha are you using today?
I would use my own matcha, but I'm using a culinary matcha. So there's different types. If you guys are completely new to Japanese matcha, which is powdered green tea, like Chef just mentioned, There's the drinking kind, which can tend to be very expensive. So maybe like, anywhere from $20 to over $100 for a small
Wow.
tin like this. And then there's the culinary kind, which is much more affordable, and I'm not sure how much yours costs, Chef, but it's much more affordable, and you can use on a day-to-day basis for cooking and baking. But yeah, it's delicious. It's got some benefits, like she mentioned. It's not going to cause you to get jittery, because one of the compounds in matcha, I believe it's the theanine, one of the amino acids actually counterbalances some of the stimulant effects of the caffeine. So that's one of the reasons why coffee doesn't have that effect, but matcha does, or Japanese green tea does.
That's really good to know. So you're describing the two different types. I have here, sometimes the bag will even say, or the container, culinary grade. So this is for cooking. And then the other kind, which is a bit more expensive, is usually called ceremonial matcha, or drinking matcha, right? And so,
yeah, you can
are they interchangeable?
You
can
use them interchangeably, but
yeah.
I wouldn't use drinking matcha for cooking, because you're going to lose a lot of the very delicate umami and the characteristics that make it so expensive. So it's kind of like fine wine. You have wine that you'd want to drink, and then you have wine you want to cook with.
Yeah, exactly. Or like finishing oil, like really expensive olive oils that you want to garnish with, or drizzle on as just like a finisher, and then some that you want to cook with.
Yep.
All right, cool. So let's make our matcha syrup. This is really super simple. I'm going to go ahead and use my coconut oil, and I've melted this. This is about 4 tablespoons or so. And I imagine, Pat, you're going to use Miyoko's butter. Is that right?
Yes, I will.
All right, so you're going to melt 4 tablespoons. And again, you can really switch up the coconut oil here. So I use the organic virgin when I made my popcorn kernels. So the popcorn itself might taste a little coconutty, which I think is going to go really beautiful with the matcha. But if you want to use the matcha syrup, if you want to make the matcha syrup really kind of matcha, flavorful, then use the refined in this part, okay? To make the matcha syrup, use the refined if you really want that delicious earthy matcha flavor to come through. So I'm going to add this to a bowl. And this part is really fun. I really love doing this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the sugar, because right now the coconut oil is a bit warm. So I'm going to add my sugar. And if you guys want the quantities for this, it's in the cookbook. So I encourage you to please download the cookbook if you haven't done so already. And the link to do so is the first comment on today's live stream. And I just want to kind of melt away the sugar inside of the coconut oil. And then I'm going to add a little salt as well. And I want this to kind of melt away as well. And I kind of just want to whisk this in my bowl. Oh, nice. Look at that. Yours, Pat, yours will melt. Your sugar and salt will dissolve a lot quicker than mine, because yours is right out of the microwave.
Yep. And
I'm going to show you what sugar I'm using. I'm using organic cane sugar. This is from Trader Joe's, and I like organic cane sugar because it's totally unrefined. It's not processed. It even has kind of a brown tint or a tan tint. And I like it because it tastes really kind of sweet and clean. And I don't want my sugar bleached. I want to really make sure that if I'm eating plant-based, I know that I have a commitment to clean eating. And so that goes for even my sugar and even my flour and all of these other ingredients that are kind of staples in our world. The cleaner, the better, I say. All right, so once that sugar and that salt mixture is kind of dissolved, now let's add the matcha. So I have it here. I'm going to show you one more time just because I want you to see how gorgeous it is. Pat's going to sprinkle it in. I'm going to kind of tap it in. It's so fine that it kind of does require you to kind of tap it or kind of scoop it out of your little bowl. And if you guys are curious about some of the equipment that I'm using, like the bowls or the whisk or the cutting board or even the one top burner that I have, you can check my Amazon page. I have a storefront at Chef D Malfi on Amazon, and it has all of these available for you to purchase, and they're great holiday gifts. Oh my gosh, this turns green, super green. Wow. I was looking at the matcha when I bought it and I opened it up and I was thinking it's really light green. I was expecting it to be darker. But this looks great. It kind of like really blooms in the oil. How's yours?
Smells amazing.
It does smell really good. All right, this looks fantastic. And I just want to show you in the camera, kind of is this green kind of pasty-ness. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it there, the light. Oh, this looks yum. All right, now, last thing, we just have to add the popcorn and kind of fold it in. So let's do that. So here's my popcorn right here. Looks perfect. Throw that in. And I'm going to use my slotted spoon. Pat, what do you think is the most important thing about plant-based eating and living?
Well, I think enjoying it is important.
Totally. I'm with you there.
Yeah, keeping yourself interested in it by always trying different things, different flavors, different recipes, different cuisines. I think, you know, having an opportunity to share that with people around you, your friends, your family, and getting them to see the benefits of it. I think the world, at least in America, seems to be opening up to it with new types of plant-based products. I'm sure you guys have heard of like Impossible Meat and
Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat, things like that. Well, that stuff it's a step in the right direction. I think that'll open up people more so to different types of plant foods. Yeah.
Do you think that those plant meats will take, you know, will really actually get a lot of love in other countries outside of the United States?
I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical about it, to be honest. I think that it's a cultural thing, for one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about overseas how plant-based meats and stuff would do.
Yeah.
Because especially like in different cultures, like in China, where I think you know, eating meat and seafood is a symbol. It's like a status symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. Culture definitely plays a role in it.
Yeah, I agree. The cool thing about this community in particular that I've been building here since August is that we've created kind of like a global community. We've created a global experience for people. And I never was really expecting that. I always wanted that, but I never knew if people outside of the US or even outside of California, where I live, would be interested in this. And sure enough, there are so many people in our community, and I'm sure yours, from all over the world that are interested in plant-based living and eating. Like, it's not just for us Californians or for us in Orange County, right? It's like, it's global, and it's hopeful to know that it's global. So it makes me feel really good.
Yeah, food brings people together. That's what I love.
For sure. And this matcha popcorn is calling me. Look at this, you guys. This looks fantastic. Yeah, perfect. I want to give it a taste too.
It's good.
Oh, yeah. No, I think oh my God, that's so good. It totally tastes like matcha, but like very mild. And then it has this sweet, kind of salty to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Very mild, the matcha. If anything, it's just actually more for color. And I will say that it's also super duper high in antioxidants. It's high in calcium. It's actually great for liver detoxification. So there's about 1,000,001 uses and health benefits for matcha. And so you can feel really good about eating this popcorn. It's really festive too. It's perfect for the holidays. I love it. And if you wanted to sprinkle it with more salt or more sugar, you absolutely can. This to me kind of tastes more like a good balance between a savory and a saltiness, but you can make it sweet or savory more if you choose. But I think we did really, really great, Pat. This looks fantastic. I'm definitely going to share this with my friends.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. I love this. Thank you so much for doing this with us and for being here today. This was a fun recipe to do with you. And will you come back to Plant-Based Made Easy at some point, maybe in 2021, and can we do another recipe together?
Definitely, of course.
I'd love that. I'd love that. And you guys, if you want to get in touch with Pat, please do so. Again, his Instagram is Japanese Cooking Club, and then YouTube, All Day I Eat Like a Shark. And he can be found on Facebook at Pat Tokuyama. And I'm going to just put his name right here in the chat so that you guys know where to find him, as well as all of his handles. And I want to just wish everyone here happy holidays. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Pat, you have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you all next time.
Same to you. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Bye. Peace.
Bye-bye.